Hey guys, welcome back to another foundation road test day. Today I am testing out Guerlain Lingerie de Peau foundation. I've been dying to test this foundation out. I also got samples of their two primers, the Meteorites Primer and the Gold Primer that a lot of people talk about. Despite everything I know to be wrong, and anyone with sensitive skin would agree that testing only one product at a time is what you should do. I am testing it out today with the Meteorites Primer and the foundation. So I'm using two new products today. It could end up being a disaster, but for science, I am willing to try. And one of the reasons why I have not bought it or tried it to date is because I always felt like every shade was too pink. And lo and behold, there are 14 new shades, and one of them is a warm shade that fit me, or there's like a whole warm category, and they had a 02W. So I thought for sure he was going to give me that shade, and instead he gave me 02N. I thought he was going to give me 02C, which was cool, and I think it corresponds with the old light rosy, and I was like, what are you doing? I am not rosy. He didn't. He gave me the 02N, which is light, and it corresponds with the old light beige, which I know was still too pink for a lot of people. So I have it on now. I don't think it looks bad in this light. I don't think it's a perfect match. I still think I would have done better with 02W light warm, which corresponds with the old 32 light amber. So I don't know what my hair's doing today, you guys. It's not looking good. This foundation claims to be a natural looking skin fusion texture foundation. It has SPF 20 and enhances the complexion for a perfect, long-lasting, and natural-looking result on all skin tones. Its fresh, light texture glides onto the contours of the face like a second skin to enhance your natural beauty all day long. It's formulated with Guerlain technology and biofusion micro mesh, a combination of contouring and smoothing stretch fibers that are infused with natural silk and linen fibers, so that they're in perfect affinity with the skin. Hydrating agents provide softness and comfort throughout the day. Choose from a universal range of 18 natural looking shades for every skin tone, cool, neutral, and warm. So I'm going to rewind to when I applied it with the Meteorites Primer, and I am using one side with the Beauty Blender and one side with the It Cosmetics foundation brush, and we will see how it applies and how it looks, and then I will go forward with my day. I have my sponge and brush ready to go, and my primer sample of the Guerlain Meteorites Primer, taking a pea-sized amount just like I do with my Hourglass Primer, rubbing it between my fingers and applying it to my face all over, on the cheeks, on the forehead. It smells really nice. It's not an overwhelming scent, but it has a nice scent. And I'm just gonna get that all rubbed in nicely, just like I always do with my primer. And it has a nice slippery feel to it. It's different than the Hourglass in terms of slip. It feels like it gets nice and absorbed into the skin, just making sure it gets everywhere. And now I'm taking my foundation sample in the neutral color, which I don't think is a match, but we're going to use it anyway. And I'm going to go in with my sponge, and we're going to see how this goes. So we'll start and just stipple it all over the face and get it all rubbed in. And it has kind of a scent to it too, but it's not overwhelming like some of the pricier foundations can be. And it is applying very nicely and very evenly all over the face, getting it on the forehead and making sure I get it blended in nicely into the hairline as well because of the color match being an issue. And I am going to blend it down onto the neck as well. And the coverage is nice and medium, and it is buildable, which is nice. And I like it, and you can see the difference in the redness on one side of my face versus the other. So it's working well. And now I'm going to go onto the other side of the face with the foundation brush. Just taking it in there, getting some product on the brush and stippling and brushing it all over the face. And it's applying very nicely with the foundation brush. I was kind of surprised. You never know how that is going to work versus the sponge, but it's applying very nicely and evenly with the foundation brush, just like it did with the sponge. And it's very quick with the brush as well. And I'm also going to blend this down onto the neck, and I'm kind of turning my angle here so you guys can see what I'm doing with the brush as well. So you can see the redness is being covered pretty nicely, and blending it down onto the neck, and we should be good to go. One thing that I noticed on the brush side is that I can kind of see my pores over here. It's an area where that just happens on me sometimes. I don't notice that on the Beauty Blender side. It just looks perfect and seamless. So I'm gonna finish my makeup and I'll get back with you. Okay, my makeup is done and it feels really good. I really don't even feel it on my face. Very lightweight. I feel like it covered redness nicely. It gives nice medium coverage and it looks good. It's buildable, which is nice. If you want that fuller coverage, I think that you could get it from this foundation. It was a little more seamless on the Beauty Blender side, but overall, I can't complain. It looked great on both sides. So we will see, but I feel like it looks good overall. It looks just really like naturally good skin. I don't feel like I look like I'm wearing foundation, but I feel like my skin looks good. We'll see how it holds up throughout the day. It is raining, hot and humid. I know that's a big shocker for me where I live. So we'll see how it holds up.
Hey guys, I wanted to give an update. It's been just under 7 hours since application this morning, and I was a lot happier this morning than I am this afternoon. I hate to say that because it was stunningly beautiful this morning, and I don't know if it's the primer or if it is the foundation. So we'll see tomorrow when I use my Hourglass primer, but I feel like the Beauty Blender side looks better than the brush side for sure, especially around the nose and this area and on the chin. I've just had to touch up and blot 3 or 4 times, so it's gotten kind of shiny, shinier than I had hoped it would. I'm not really happy about that, and it just, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's just like kind of worn off here already. And not as much over here, but I just feel like it is looking kind of patchy a little bit. And I don't know, it's okay, but it's a little too high maintenance for me for a foundation that is as pricey as it is. So I'm going to check in again this evening, just like I usually do, and let you know my final thoughts for the day. But so far at just 7 hours, I'm not as happy as I thought I was going to be. I'm disappointed.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this end of day check-in pretty short and sweet. I feel like probably about 30 minutes after I did my midday check-in, it kind of fell apart in terms of having to blot. I mean, it was like every 30 minutes. I just was kind of surprised. And it just broke down. It does look better on the sponge side than it does on the brush side. You can see here, it's just pretty much gone from here. It's better over here, but it's just not great overall. It also settled into some fine lines over here, and it didn't really do that on this side. But it's just less than impressive. It is exactly 11 hours after I put it on, and I just felt like probably around the 7-8 hour mark was about the maximum wear time I was gonna get out of it. And even then, it was just way too much maintenance at that point. So with the Meteorites Primer, the foundation just was not impressive to me. So it's a bit disappointing for the first day, and I am not going to show the reapplication tomorrow with the Hourglass Primer. I will see you guys tomorrow at the first check-in.
Hey guys, it's day 2 of the foundation road test. I used my Hourglass primer this morning, and the foundation applied beautifully with both the brush and the beauty blender. I did have the same pore issue on the nose on the brush side, did not have that issue on the sponge side. So for me with this foundation, I feel like a beauty blender is the way to go no matter what primer I'm using. I've had it on for almost exactly 4.5 hours. And I only had to touch up once with half a blotting paper and translucent powder. And that was about 30 minutes ago, and it's performing much better today than it did yesterday already with the Hourglass primer. So I'm not sure if it was a primer issue yesterday or if it was the combination of the primer and the foundation. But either way, it's performing much better with the primer that I already use and love. So I'm happy about that. We'll see at the end of the day check-in if it falls apart like it did yesterday. But so far, it's looking pretty good, and I've only had to touch up once. So I'm happy about that. And I am going to review both of the primers that I have separately. So I will be doing that in other videos. I just wanted to look at the foundation first. I will check in with you guys at the end of the day and give my end of day thoughts as well as a summary overall.
So I have a new spot. It's my bathroom floor. The lighting is better here, it's less glary, and it's more comfortable for me. So if you don't mind, I don't mind. It's a win for everybody. So I'm just gonna try it out here for a while at night. The Hourglass primer day is done. It is 10 hours after application. That's enough time for me to see if this is gonna work today or not. About an hour after the check-in, I had to blot again. About an hour after that, I had to blot again, and that continued. That's an issue. It's just a lot of maintenance. It does look better today than it did yesterday. I will give it that. I do feel like it's looking a little powdery up here. I don't know if you can see that or not. And it's just, I've been blowing my nose. I can't even count the nose because I've been blowing my nose all day. But this has been like this almost from the get-go. And it's just, it's okay. It's okay. And even if it looked great and completely intact, the maintenance for me is an issue. And I got to thinking that if it was a drugstore foundation and I paid $8 for it, I'd probably chuck it and try and find something else, because I don't want to blot every hour. Who wants to blot every hour? So to pay $63 for a foundation and have to blot every hour, I don't think so. So yeah, I just don't think this is it. And I feel awful because I feel like I'm about 2/3 negative with my foundation road test, but I guess that's the reason why I'm doing this, to see what really works and how it works best. So this one, unfortunately, was a no for me. But I'm going to go through the summary because I think it's good to talk about why and who it might work for, because I think that there are people that this might work for, whereas in the past I have said I don't know who this would work for. So okay, like I said a while ago, this foundation retails for $63 for 1 ounce of product. It is the priciest foundation that I have looked at yet. There are 18 shades now. They did expand the shade line to include warmer skin tones. It does have SPF 20 containing titanium dioxide and a chemical sunscreen. I'm gonna butcher this. octinoxate, which for some reason, as sensitive to chemical sunscreens as I am, this one does not bother me. It's in other things and I seem to do okay with it. It also has some cones, some alcohol, mica, and silica. So if you have issues with any of those, you may want to steer clear. It does come in a nice pump bottle. It does feel super lightweight on the skin, so I do appreciate that. It's applied like a dream. It looked beautiful right after application. I mean, airbrushed, beautiful. Nice medium buildable coverage. So from that standpoint, I really liked it. It did give a good skin-like finish. It doesn't look like makeup, but yet it made me feel flawless after I applied it. I did need some concealer to complete that look, but not much. With the right primer, the main issue was the blotting about midway through a relatively short day. You know, after 4.5, 5 hours, having to blot every hour is an issue. That said, I feel like it could really work for someone who has normal to dry skin. I don't think I have the oiliest skin on the planet, but this just did not work for me. I wish it did. I am disappointed because I was really looking forward to trying this foundation. So I am going to look at the 2 primers and see if I like those with foundations that I'm already used to. So I'll get back to you on those. Thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I would love to see you here again. And I appreciate all of you that are here joining me through all these road tests and my other videos. It means a lot to me. So thank you again, and I will see you soon.